Just like yesterday, I came here to complain about the complaint they're going to file against Leonardo Jardim. Today, I'm going to complain about the report you're going to file against Paulinho, the Palmeiras player who made the silence gesture and stepped on Flamengo's crest. How is the STJD involved in this? What does the STJD have to do with this? This guy named Eduardo Ximenez said he could be charged. Look at this. No, just look at this here. That could be used against us, okay? Exactly when our players, Flamengo, win the game against them in the return match, which they could win. And Flamengo was playing much better than them until the player was sent off along with Rascal. Then, when we win and we want to tease them, they will report us and they will punish our players, okay? This same whining they're doing with the guy can be used against us, okay? Okay? Look, the prosecutor of the case, Eduardo Ximenez, points out an obscene gesture, clearly offensive and provocative, specifically directed at the home team's fans present in the stands at Maracanã. If that happened, Gabigol would also have to be punished for doing this. When they threw the seats, Flamengo beat them by 3, also there, became Brazilian champion, and they threw the seats onto the field. Man, football is becoming, right? What? Just pure whining? Is that it? Is that what the STJD wants to become? A coach like Leonardo Jardim can't just say that the referee has a better record with one club than another, then he gets reported. The player can't joke around, which is part of soccer. Damn, man, that's the fun of it. If Flamengo wins every year, I joke every year, and when the other guy wins, he can't make fun of me. It's exactly this desire of mine to get back at them, to see my team getting back at them for me. That's what makes soccer exist. And now you want to punish the guy for talking trash? Man, what I want most right now is for Flamengo to win and make fun of the guy right back. Now, wanting to punish, report, all that whining, man, you can't joke around in soccer anymore. It's okay to debate whether he went too far because he stepped on the badge. I've also said that I'm against it, right? This thing of putting the team's badge on the floor. And then the guy kicks the corner flag. Now he's going too far, man. All of this is being debated now. It's just too much whining to report a goal celebration in a match with a big national rivalry because of obscene gestures and blatant provocations. It works as a catalyst for hostilities. It has real potential to inflame the fans in the stands and trigger riots of immeasurable proportions inside and around the sports venue. Whining, whining, where are we going to end up with all this whining, right? Where? And I'm not going to sit here and be a homer taking advantage of this to try to punish a player, to try to punish Palmeiras. No, man, that's ridiculous. Leila said the following: the celebration happens in my stadium too, several times. It's part of the game. Who has to determine if it's right or not is the officiating crew, and the officiating crew did nothing. Did you understand? And another thing, I don't think it's disrespectful to celebrate like they did in Palmeiras' victory. And then Leila is talking. To me, it's just banter that's part of it, okay? If Leila says something as she does daily and I need to criticize, I will. Now, regarding what Felipe Melo said, Paulinho is right to joke around, and De La Cruz and Varela are right to call him out and stir things up. Each one has their own reasons. Both sides are right. But is it right to fight? In that kind of rivalry situation, it's right to call them out. That's how it's always been in soccer, my friends. That's why we love soccer. Don't come whining here on my channel. Okay? No whining here, man. If you want to complain, find another channel that's calling for punishment for Paulinho. Do whatever you want. There won't be any whining here on my channel, all right? That's it. Hey guys, greetings red and black fans. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're new here, I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below, turn on notifications, hit the bell, and leave a like on the video. We're here thanks to the sponsorship of Caravana do Haroldo. You can reserve your spot at Flamengo games, the Champions League, and the World Cup, all with guaranteed delivery. I wanted to discuss the ticket with you, since in Rio de Janeiro, tickets and packages are included. He'll arrange everything and deliver it to you. No doubt he'll deliver since it's a reputable company. It's also important to mention healthy weight loss. More Hair, the My Slim program for you to lose weight in a healthy way, and also the ExoMice treatment, which is spectacular, and you can also get it. Look, my hair was really thin, and now it's growing a lot with ExoMice. There are billions of exosomes. It's unreal, okay? You can take advantage of it and access it through the link that's in the pinned comment and in the description. And I want to let you know the following. Check this out. Check this out for today, huh? Flamengo and Cusco today. Check this out. Flamengo to win the game. It's on our sports betting channel. And look at that, huh? Look at that. I'll leave the QR code here. The QR code will stay here for the rest of the video. So you can access our new Telegram channel. In this channel, I'll be sharing amazing opportunities. For those of you who don't have an account on the platform, go there and take advantage of it. And if you don't have an account, you'll be able to take advantage of this opportunity. Flamengo to win the game. I'm betting there. Okay. Flamengo to win the game and Pedro to score at any time. The guys lost 8-0 to Alianza Lima. Do you really think that Flamengo, even with some problems, won't beat Cusco and that Pedro won't score a goal to show Ancelotti that he deserved to be called up? Yeah, there's still Neymar's situation to add to that. It's Neymar who might even miss the debut. We'll talk about that, about the World Cup. So this one's amazing. It's a really sensational Super Ote. And if you haven't registered on the platform, go to our channel and you can access it. And remember, always play responsibly. It's for people over 18. It's for fun, not an investment. But you can secure it right now. So it's 3, okay? 3, limit of 50. It's spectacular. And the situation with Neymar, which could be some extra motivation for Pedro in these last 2 Flamengo games before the World Cup. Pedro could be a really important player here, right? And Rossi too, who also wants to recover, which we'll talk about. Now the alarm bells are ringing. Neymar's absence is confirmed. Okay, Neymar suffered a grade 2 calf injury against Coritiba, and he should miss the Brazilian national team's warm-up friendlies before the World Cup. The national team's number 10 is also a concern for the debut against Morocco, since his chances of playing in the match are low at the moment. The player will undergo a new medical evaluation at Granja Comari in the next few days, okay? Information from Marcelo Marinho. Yeah, and that's the point. That serves as motivation for Pedro, João Pedro, players who still believe they can earn a World Cup call-up. Pedro, who has nothing to do with this, obviously we're not rooting against Neymar, but it's the World Cup. It's the World Cup. He's confirmed to miss the preparatory matches in the last games before the World Cup and possibly even against Morocco in the World Cup already. So this decision will be made at Granja Comari. They'll decide whether to cut Neymar or not, okay? It's a possibility. Nobody talks about it like this. If there's an evaluation, it's to decide whether to cut Neymar. Grade 2 injury, okay? So would you cut Neymar? Comment here. Would you cut Neymar? A grade 2 injury so close to the World Cup? Or would you have the patience to wait for Neymar to be able to play in the second game, in the third game? Yeah. And if you didn't take Neymar, who would that be? João Pedro? Pedro, right? According to Bruno Cantarelli, Pedro would be first on the list of attacking options. I think that, by the way, Ancelotti talked about João Pedro almost apologizing for not taking him, or actually apologizing for not taking him. João Pedro is also highly regarded. So it's a question. Who would it be? They have nothing to do with it, right? They're there waiting. Pedro still has a chance to convince the national team's coach by playing 2 great matches, doing really well against Cusco and doing really well against Coritiba, right? If you play 2 great matches, you put him in, right? Mosquitino over there. Look at that. Pedro and all, right? In case they really decide to cut Neymar. So would you take him? It's time for us to bring all the information about tonight's match. CONMEBOL Libertadores, Flamengo defending the top spot overall in the group stage. Forget what happened in the Brazilian league. Don't even think about it. No, it's time to focus on this. For the fifth title, let's fight for the fifth championship. May these players have the right mindset to step onto the field in the next Libertadores games. Keeping this unbeaten streak, Flamengo only has draws. It's the best campaign so far. And it could match the 2022 campaign, which was the best campaign in history in 13 Libertadores games, right? In 13 game campaigns, Flamengo had 12 wins and a draw. An unbeaten campaign, right? Yeah, and Flamengo is defending a historic unbeaten streak against Peruvian teams. Today, it's at 9:30 p.m. at Maracanã. Until now, they've never lost to teams from Peru. There have been 7 matches, 6 wins, and a draw. A success rate of 90.4%, 90.4%. Flamengo also has special memories on Peruvian soil. It's worth remembering since they've won 2 editions of the Libertadores in the country. Man, Flamengo does well, right? In Peru. Skip it. I have fun, man. Yeah. Look, we might have Flamengo with an alternate team against Cusco tonight, right? The probable Flamengo lineup: Rossi, Varela, Vitão, Leo Pereira, and Ayrton Lucas, Everton Araújo, Paquetá, Carrascal, Plata, Lino, and Pedro. But there's a chance he might come. I think it's unlikely. He'll give Rossi some credit. But yeah, there's a chance he could go with Andrew, with Royal instead of Varela. Yeah, but it's likely he'll go with Vitão and Leo Pereira with a different team, a different defense, right? Yeah, Ayrton Lucas is coming back too. And there's a chance, okay, that he might not start Carrascal and could use De La Cruz there instead. Or Pulgar might also play instead of Everton Araujo, okay? There's also a chance the team goes with an alternate lineup. Yeah, Plata, Lino, and Pedro. Or Bruno Henrique. Bruno Henrique could also start. He's used him like this in Libertadores games, right? Now, just to let you know, the broadcast is on ESPN, Disney Plus, and also Paramount, right? Paramount Plus as well. Okay? Yeah, probable lineup for Cusco: Pedro Diaz, Ceballos, Fuentes, Choi, and Bolivar. Valenzuela, Colito, Manzaneda, Coleman, and Souza. And Juan Tevez, right? And the coach, Alejandro Orsilia, right? Orfilia. The referee is Jose Javier Burgos from Uruguay. Okay? And the VAR, Cristian Ferreira, also from Uruguay. My predicted score is Flamengo, 4-0. And you know what could happen today? That's right, today could be a landmark game for Pedro, even though we know there's a chance he'll start with Bruno Henrique, right? And Pedro might have little time to score goals. Yeah, but he'll have time since Flamengo is already in the round of 16, right? But it could happen today with a blowout and Pedro scoring 3 goals. If Pedro scores 3 goals against Cusco, he'll tie Gabigol and could become the Brazilian player with the most goals in the Libertadores. That would be spectacular, right? And it would be even more spectacular for Pedro, who's still aiming for a chance to go to the World Cup if any player gets cut. There's also Neymar's situation, which we've already talked about. So Pedro could become the Brazilian player with the most goals in the Libertadores alongside Gabigol. And for that, he just needs to score 3 goals. If he scores 4, then he surpasses him, right? But I think the biggest obstacle for Pedro to achieve this milestone is the fact that in some Libertadores matches, Jardim has started with Bruno Henrique, right? But comment here if you think Pedro will become the top Brazilian scorer in the Libertadores, that he will match or surpass Gabigol. Do you think he will? Comment here. My friends, Leonardo Jardim revealed Flamengo's need to sign new players. Yeah, he admitted Flamengo needs to sign players in the mid-year transfer window, so Boto will have to get to work. Boto will need to do something. Right, Boto, they will need to do something. They will need to sign players. The scouting department, it doesn't matter. Flamengo will need to sign players, right? Yeah, Flamengo is an extremely technical team, but they lack physicality. That was clear. Leonardo Jardim highlighted the squad's physical wear and age. Yeah, there's a need for solutions to keep the team competitive with such a packed schedule. and they're going to need young and physical players. Okay? He says it like this: the squad is built. It's a champion team, but we don't have a young team, but it's not a young team, right? It's not a young team. We have many players above a certain age, and that's why sometimes we need to have better management. We have some gaps. Look at what he says. We need to fill those gaps with new signings. Like when Arrascaeta leaves due to injury, he's a more offensive player, but sometimes that's still not enough, right? We're looking at the squad and finding ways to create solutions that will make the team more competitive. The championship is long and we need energy and health. A team needs to manage its fitness well, especially here in Brazil with games every 3 days. So, how do I interpret this? Flamengo against Palmeiras loses a player to a red card and goes after Palmeiras thinking they're going to make it. And then Palmeiras played their physical game, right? And Flamengo couldn't keep up. And then they ended up losing the way they did, but there were mistakes by the goalkeeper and everything else. Okay, fine, but they lost. So the question is, physically, Flamengo feels it. Physically, Flamengo needs young and physical players, okay? More players like Everton Araujo, right? Players who can help physically. Flamengo has a lot of players over 30, right? Or even more, like 30, 34, 35, 33, right? Like Jorginho, for example. So Flamengo is going after these signings. Like I already told you, Flamengo is scouting, looking for player options, players who could be excellent signings, but who aren't too expensive. Flamengo is going to look for these signings, going to try to fill these gaps, like Leonardo Jardim said, and that's going to be very important for the rest of the season in this mid-year transfer window. And it's also going to be important, right, for Flamengo to be able to refresh this squad a bit for the coming years. Can I be honest with you guys? Actually, I will be honest with you. I love Rossi. I'm a fan of Rossi. I really like Rossi. I think he's a great goalkeeper, a guy who really fits Flamengo, who knows how to waste time. He reminds me of Diego Alves in many ways. He makes amazing saves. He's great at stopping penalties. I love Rossi. I'm really sad about the rough patch Rossi is going through at Flamengo. It's one of his worst moments at Flamengo with consecutive mistakes. But I really want him to get his head back in the game, to be well again, to make great saves. I think it also has to do with the defense not being 100%. Because I remember in previous years, we used to make videos playing that song, Lonely, I'm Still Lonely. Why? Because the ball never reached Rossi. Rossi would go a long time without making a save, sometimes the whole game without making a save, because the ball never got to him. Because Flamengo was doing so well that the opponent couldn't get through, and Rossi didn't have to work. But when he did have to work, he made great saves, and I think it's downright unfair. We don't have patience with the guy who was so important to Flamengo so recently, but he made a mistake against PSG. He didn't save it. He did save it. He saved it. It was Flamengo's players who missed a lot of penalties. I also saw a lot of unfairness toward Rossi in the last few days. Okay? Honestly, I think Andrew might get an opportunity. I do. I think he might get one. It's part of the game. It's soccer. Everyone should have that chance. Okay? GE reported that Leonardo Jardim supports Rossi and that he's not thinking about crucifying the player, the goalkeeper, right? He made mistakes in 4 of the last 5 games, right? Yeah, man, he was at fault for a lot of goals. Elimination from the Copa do Brasil, defeat in a head-to-head matchup. Yeah, so he was one of Flamengo's standouts in the Libertadores, 2025 Brazilian Championship. But there was this issue I mentioned, the ball was getting to him less as well. And today he's there, right? Under fire. So, yeah. He also made mistakes against Lanús, Grêmio, Vitória. Okay? He's going through a very tough time. But honestly, just like Jardim, right? We're supporting him, giving him support, and he should, in fact, keep going, right? At least according to Jair, GL should remain in the starting lineup against Cusco. I think the fans also need to support Rossi because he needs it. That's it. Please follow, like, and share on all platforms. Subscribe on YouTube, turn on notifications, and like the video. Thanks for your company. Red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Big hug. Thanks. I'm out.